Man, I was watching Jinxie before I started stream, and oh my god, he was reading something from a letter, and it was handwritten, so I kinda gotta give him a little bit of kudos here, but it looked like what would happen if you gave an old man a phone and told him he couldn't use his readers to look at whatever is on the phone. It was very interesting. Welcome to another episode of Raz, and I have, hopefully, an improvement. That being my audio and some of the other things going on. So first and foremost, before I jump into it, I want to plug my YouTube channel here at Raztavi. This is the thumbnail from the latest video. Adam Smasher smashing me on Malevolon Creek. This is the, what is it? The monthly installment of the Best Of series for me, where I take essentially every single funny moment that I can think of on that happens to me with my friends or myself, and I put it into a video for everyone to enjoy. It mainly started out as a passion project, but now I'm like, it's now a part of my habit. So speaking of, thank God it's a leap year, so I got an extra day, but this February, the video was not done until about yesterday, late in the evening, because I just didn't keep up with my process. Because normally what I do is I record a video or a session or whatever, and then I look at my timestamps from that video, and I cut them up, and then I put them into a new timeline so that whenever I get around to collating them and putting them into one massive big thing, it's normally easy. Well, I didn't do that this time, so I had to go through every single clip from like the 14th of February until today just to get all the clips. It was fun. I enjoyed it because a lot of the things that happened I completely forgot about, so it was kind of a gem seeing it, but the thing I like the most about the video is the fact that like some of the clips in there that are some of the funniest, and the clips I put first and foremost is happened literally, I believe, on the 27th or 28th of February, so literally the day before I was supposed to finish the video. But that's enough of my plugging myself. And of course, you can look up and above, and where is Marlon? Marlon, where are you? Oh, that's the wrong thing. Once again, if you see this, please follow. That's all. There you go. I think that's enough shilling for me. But yeah, so you're here for, uh-oh, I've lost everything. I have lost every single thing that I was going to do. I forgot. No, I remember, but I don't know. So basically, this stream is about my audio equipment. So if you have watched the previous streams, or VODs, or whatever the case is, you will notice that my audio, I believe, is better. And there's a reason for it. So I am what people would call an audio enthusiast. I wouldn't call myself an audiophile because I don't take it that seriously. And quite frankly, I don't want to spend that much money. But I definitely do indeed enjoy good, crisp, high-fidelity audio to the best of my ability. And the past few streams have been kind of, how do I put it, just ass. I mean, they've been acceptable, right? I'm a no-name streamer with 0 viewers, but I hold myself to a higher standard. I don't know why, I just do. So whenever I don't really, like, achieve that, like, goal for myself, I feel disappointed. But I'm going to show you how I did it so that if you're interested in replicating it, you can. And if, for example, this is like a forgotten VOD that no one looks at, this is hidden esoteric knowledge. So yes, we're stealing from Thor. And basically, I'm just going to run you through what is essentially my audio chain. So let me double check stream real quick to make sure I'm nice and good. I think I'll be fine. Yeah, okay. Twitch is going good. It looks like I'm being picked up clearly, and I think I got my audio levels right. So first and foremost, let me talk to you about how quote-unquote professional audio works. So generally speaking, what most people have is, like, they have a headset, and they plug it into their PC. Right? That's what most people do. And it works. It's simple, it's effective, it's efficient. I have something that is a little bit more complex. And very much so more expensive. So if you're curious, as I start lisping over myself, I have a SM7B. I'm just going to list out everything for you. I have an SM7B. I have a Vocaster 1. I have a Cloud Lifter. And I'm looking at it now. What? Yeah, that's it. And then, of course, I have my headphones, which are the ATH M50Xs. So this is my equipment right now. Now, how is this different from just a headset into the computer? Well, it's not that bad, but it is a little bit more complex. So this is how it works. You have your microphone, so I'm trying to draw it in the least phallic way possible. All right, you got the microphone. And what happens is, I had an idea of how I was going to draw this, but basically there's a cable. I'm going to mark it like that. There's a cable that goes into the back of the microphone, okay, called an XLR cable. So we're no longer working with USB like this, okay? This is USB. This is XLR. And basically, what we do is we have one end connected into the microphone, and then we have the other end connected into what's known as the Cloud Lifter. So what this does is that the SM7B has a I want to say reputation, but it's more so infamy, so a negative reputation for being a very gain-hungry mic. So what that means is that every single audio recording you hear, the loudness of it, so whether you perceive it as loud or quiet, is dependent upon something known as gain. So if a microphone has a very low gain, instead of hearing it, at normal volume like you would expect, it's only doing like that, right? Now, in the past streams, what has happened is that I've had this gain meter. So let's assume a fully filled out triangle here is a perfectly fine, everything is good microphone for gain and loudness, essentially. I've really only been operating at about 50%. And the reason why is because of the simple fact that the SM7B is a hungry boy. He is hungry, and if you do not feed him, he will become very angry. This is where the Cloud Lifter comes in. And I think, in my opinion, you need it. Because the extra gain that you get from the Cloud Lifter, which is about 25 decibels. So you don't need to be an expert on this. I'm going to use everything out. I'm going to use layman terminology so that anyone can get this. And if you are in the know about the concepts, it'll make sense to you too. So with the 25 decibels in the Cloud Lifter, it fills it up all the way. So, for example, right now, if you're curious, I am kind of hitting normally around negative 20 decibels, and I'm peaking at around negative 15. And my limiter, which is basically the high amount that it won't ever go over. So I can literally scream into the mic. So headphone warning, I don't think it'll hurt you, but if you're listening, let's assume it fails. Okay, so I'm just going to go, there you go. It will never go over that amount. And if it does hit that limiter, it will either bring the loudness down to negative 10 decibels, which is where I have my, negative 12 decibels is what I have it set at, sorry. It will set it to that, and it will not go over. So it won't hit -11 or go to 0 decibels. And it will just distort until it comes down. So that's where it is right now. So let's back up a little bit. That's kind of explaining what's going on there. If you're taking notes, write down my diagram. But what happens is that, like I said, we have our SM7B, and we have our cable that connects into the SM7B running into our cloud lifter. And then we have that cable going in, or another cable, so a second XLR cable, running into the back of what is known as my Vocaster. What does it look like? It's an oval. And then we have the Vocaster 1. So the reason I bought the Vocaster 1 as opposed to the 2i2 is because it has 3 things on it that's really, really nice. If you look it up on Amazon, it has an auto gain feature. I literally, yeah. So it has an auto gain feature that essentially, when you click it, it auto gains it. So you know how I was talking earlier about gain being the way that loudness is determined? Well, this has a feature that you click it and you talk normally, and the interface will set it automatically for you. So if you don't want to know anything about like gain or, you know, what is it called? Gain staging or anything like that, you click it, you talk, you're done. Then there's another thing on there known as, I call it the Pixie Stick, but it's essentially called Enhance. And what this does is that it adds on a bunch of filters in real time. So I have mine off. I have it just purely going through the SM7B. I'm going to turn it on. It may not sound too significantly different because I did tune it, but this gives you something known as equalization. So it lets you control the lower parts of your voice, like, the mids, like, hey guys, well, that's high, but like, you know, the mid parts of your voice, and then the high parts, like, hi. Oh God, I'm sorry. But anyway, it allows you to control that. Now, it isn't the same as, for example, like a professional equalizer or a professional compressor or anything like that, but it works. Okay. Then the other thing, the one that I love the most and the actual reason why I bought it over anything else. How does it look like? Yeah, okay. A mute button. So at any point I can be talking to you, and if I'm like, oh my God, you know, let's say, I don't know, Batman came in and found that I'm harboring the Joker, I can be like, oh! I can cut it off in real time. And it's really nice because most interfaces do not have this. It just doesn't. Now, I will say, if you are someone in the audio community, you will know that this is a relatively cheap interface. It's only about $100. Now, I'm not an audiophile. I don't need, you know, a Rodecaster Pro. I don't need, I don't know, a Mochu M2 or something like that. I just need Simple Stupid. Now, this is catered towards podcasting, but to be honest with you, YouTube, streaming, podcasting, kind of the same thing, really. You just need high fidelity sound. And, well, good fidelity, not high fidelity. That's a bit of a stretch, but essentially, you have the microphone running into the cloud lifter. So before the microphone even gets to the mixer or audio interface, whichever one you want to use, I'll use them interchangeably, it's adding 25 decibels of clean gain. So you may have heard earlier in previous streams where I'm like, like really breathing into the mic and stuff, or something similar like, you know, there'll be a little bit of hiss in the background, or maybe you'll even pick up my fan. I'll let you know that this adds 25 decibels of loudness, so it adds that last bit of that triangle of loudness without introducing any artifacts. So there's things known as like noise floor. There's things known as like interferences and stuff. And this basically allows you to get past that and get what you need. And in my testing, it hasn't been extensive yet, but I think that I've nailed it. I think that I sound pretty freaking good. Now, the only thing left is trying to fix my voice, because I don't like my voice at all. My rule has been I will listen to every single stream because I want to see what did I do right, what did I do wrong, what can I improve, and then once I hit a happy point, a point where I'm like, oh yeah, this is fine, then we'll go from there. Like, for example, my next upgrade is going to be trying to figure out how to get better mouth tracking. I mean, it tracks, it works, but it's like, who talks like this? Oh. Anyway. So, let's see what else. Okay. And then, so, we've talked about the SM7B, which is this. Talked about the Vocaster 1, which is this. Talked about the Cloud Lifter, which is this, and the ATH M50Xs. These are my headphones. So in the bottom of the Vocaster, there's a little hole. And that is where my headphones connect to my monitor, which is what I'm listening to right now. So this allows me to not only monitor my voice in real time, but it also allows me to hear music and everything on my desktop, essentially. And it sounds really good. Let's see here. So, what does this mean? This means that I have hopefully solved a few issues. So the first one is mouth breathing. I have a bad habit from my younger years. I like to think I'm still young. My younger years where I did a lot of public speaking and I did a lot of like debate. I did mock trial. I did a lot of things like this. So I developed a meter and a talking style that prioritized inhaling through the mouth because it's faster. For example, like I'm going to the store to pick up some poppy because I need poppy to make poppy seed for my dough. And in order to make the dough, I need the poppy seed. And then I can put it in the oven thing and then I can do that. And then everything's fine. And then I can do this. And you see how like that mouth breathing has allowed me to talk endlessly, essentially, without really needing to stop. And this is very advantageous when you're in a debate setting or you're in a mock trial setting or something like that, because it allows you to kind of shotgun stuff out, which is really important if you need to get a point across quickly. But also, there's a lot of effort and there's a lot of skill required to jump between the mouth breathing cadence and then using your nose, right? Like when I'm streaming, I have some disadvantages. My heart rate is up. I'm excited. I'm anxious. I'm a little bit, like, what do you call it? I get a little bit of like the jitters and stuff, these are all good things. But it kind of kicks me back into back then because that's how it felt back when I was doing all that stuff. So, what the SM7B now, with all these things on it, should essentially eliminate, not all, but most of that negative sounding mouth breathing and other things that are similar. And I've also been training myself over, a period of X time to essentially talk more in a calm presence and a more conversational tone. Because, frankly, I was listening to the VOD, and I talk as loud as I think, or I try to. It's how I've always done things. And people have always told me, slow down. I don't know how. No one's ever taught me. But, the good news is that this is kind of forcing me to slow down in a way that I didn't expect I would need to. Because in, I don't know, like a mock trial setting, a debate setting, right? Your volume is important. Your cadence is important. And your delivery is important. And without all those things, you have this situation where you don't sound as good as you could. But at the exact same time, if I talk too slow, it sounds like I'm geriatric. And it sounds like I'm trying to sell you on your car's extended warranty, which no one wants. So, I need my emotional support turtle. There we go. Thank you, Rick. So, Rick will help me with mouth breathing and stuff because it's not bad. It's just that I sound like a hideous mouth breather. I sound like I'm 450 pounds. I've never walked a mile in my life. I don't, cardio is not a word that I know. And it's like, that's actually not true. But the problem is that you only have my voice, how I sound, and me. So I need to do a good job in properly representing myself instead of giving you what essentially isn't 100% me. But the good news is that, I don't know why, but I think people are like clicking on the VOD and watching a few seconds and then clicking off. So I'm hoping that, this is just between me and myself, right? I think that as time goes on, it will be very clear that these are kind of just tests. Like, hey, how do I do this? How do I make a stream decent? How do I do all these things? And how do I do it well? Because like I said, my maxim from my very first stream was I just want to be interesting. But also, like, a subtext to that is I want it to be decent. I want the stream to be enjoyable. I want the experience to be easy to consume. Because if you have to expend effort to be here, you're not going to be here. In fact, I don't want you to be here. That's why I'm a Zero View Andy. But the important part is that I wanted to go through this audio with you because I want you to see that it isn't because I'm an idiot. I mean, purely an idiot. I mean, I'm an idiot, but it's not purely because I'm an idiot. That anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that one, it'll sound the mouth, it'll should eliminate or help with the mouth breathing, and should sound pro. So those are the two goals that I really wanted to achieve with this, and I think I have. Now, if you ask me, hey, Raz, how much did this cost you? You don't ask a woman their age, and you don't ask me how much my audio equipment cost. But in this case, the SM7B, I got it on sale. It was only $350 or $400, and it's a legitimate SM7B. So if you're interested in buying an SM7B, make sure it's from a legit retailer. The Vocaster 1, I bought it because I knew I didn't want something professional like a Yamaha or a Rodecaster or something like that, and it was $100. The Cloud Lifter, it was $150. So the Cloud Lifter itself is more expensive than my Vocaster. But the Cloud Lifter it's night and day. If you've used the SM7B with the 2i2, a Scarlett 2i2, or any other interface around this price point, you will notice an incredible increase in quality. It is distinct. Like, if you don't believe me, watch my stream from yesterday, the Honkai Star Rail one. That one was without the Cloud Lifter, okay? And I want you to keep in mind that I don't have any filters. Okay, the only filters I have on my SM7B through OBS, excuse me, is a noise gate and a limiter. That's it. I have nothing else. Oh, I didn't show you the enhanced feature on the Vocaster. I'm sorry. By the way, not sponsored. But I think everyone knows that, but I think it's important to kind of say, like, hey, I'm not a shill for these guys. They're not paying me. Yeah. That'd be nice. But yeah, so I'm going to change the enhance part. So basically the way that it's going through and being output. So let's hope it doesn't break my mic. Okay, so now this is with, oh, got some Fox Akuma going. So what this is doing is that it's increasing the lower end and increasing that bass. And there's a little bit of background hiss, and I think that's actually from my fan. So you can see why I don't have it on. But it allows you to kind of key into your deeper register, your lower parts of your voice, and allows you to kind of go, you know, hey guys, I'm a radio podcaster. Welcome to Sirius XM. You can update and you can, what is it called? You know, I've had my car for God knows how long, and I still haven't done the Sirius XM thing because I just connected to my Bluetooth. So, literally, I'll be in my car, and every time it's like, Sirius XM, you can buy this channel and listen to, what is it? There's a channel that they always, like, push. Anyway, they push that channel, and they're like, buy it now for $20.99. Start your 6-month free trial now. Anyway, that's enough of that. We're going to go back to normal Raz. But you have a lot of power there. And the Vocaster 1 comes with a really intuitive and very simple to use software that allows you to change it on the fly. Now, do I recommend you mess with this? No, not really. I think that if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to cause more harm. And there is a very simple rule that you should take with audio. The more you tinker with it, the faster you're going to break it. If it works, don't mess with it. If you want to change it, make backups. In OBS right now, I am on version 4 of how I've set up my mic. Okay? And the only reason it's a version 4 is because I didn't set up the other previous 34,000 versions that had like a downward compressor, an upward compressor. It had a VST plugin that was an equalizer. And it just sounded crap. It sounded muddy. Because when you overprocess sound, You remove the value that the microphone gives you from being high quality. That's why right now, after all my effort, knowing what a compressor is, knowing what it isn't, I literally just have a limiter and a noise gate. That's it. Yeah, kill me. But let's see here. With this audio chain, and by the way, if you're curious, it connects into the back of my my Giga PC via USB-C. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I do want to give you a little bit of warning on if you're planning on like, oh, I'm gonna buy this exactly. Would I buy this like if I was brand new? I don't know. I am not wise or smart enough to give you that answer. I can say that this is what I have right now. This is what I'm working with. And it works pretty good. This is the sound quality that's coming out of the setup. With virtually no processing except... Actually, no sound processing. It's literally just this. The only thing that I will say is that if you're going to run a cloud lifter, you need something known as phantom power. So it's 48 volts. That's an electrical term of power to send from the audio interface to the cloud lifter. And this, when you send it to the cloud lifter, it'll eat all that power up so you won't damage your mic. There we go. Now then. Where'd it go? So one of the other things that's really important with audio for me is that the way I have my microphone set right now is it's a fist away. So, well, one of my fists, which, I don't know, it could be big, could be small. It's up to you. So, yeah, one fist away, and instead of the microphone being, like, right here in front of me, Sirius XM, because, yeah, it does sound more warmer. It does sound more like, hey, guys, I'm a LewTuber. Buy my boyfriend experience on Patreon. You know, that sounds technically a little bit better. But the problem is that you run into an issue called plosives, right? Like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, you know, rubber baby buggy bumper, you know, stuff like that. It'll pick up a lot. There you go. So what you do is instead of having the microphone, so let's imagine this circle is a person, right, and top down, okay, top down view. Instead of the microphone being right in front of you, like this, and keep in mind this is a fist away. This distance here is a fist away. And fist away for anyone, right? Take your fist, put it in your front of your mouth, look at your microphone. There you go. Okay, that's a fist away from me. Sorry for the tracking. But instead of it being here, right in front of you, keep it a fist away and move it off to the right. And then speak past it. That's how I've basically eliminated, for the most part, most of the plosives. Now, does this remove the possibility of them? No. No, it doesn't. But what it does do is that it's good etiquette. So, let's see here. The final thing, because I wanted this stream to be pretty quick, because I wanted this to kind of be a time capsule for myself, because I wanted to, like, a year from now go like, man, Raz, you really are that stupid. You know, you made fun of Jinxie at the beginning of the stream for not being able to read a printed letter. But look at you, you can't even figure out audio. What are you, a fool? But the good news is that ever since I started streaming, I think it was like on the 23rd or 22nd of February, I was really determined to just stream every day. Just for a little bit and get through. Because I have this, it's not like a serious thing, it's just like how I am, right? Where I don't have energy. I'm like, it's been called like high functioning depression, I think it's called. But I think that's just me overthinking it and over analyzing it. I'm just tired. You know, I'm just tired, Chief. So one of the things that streaming has done for me, and it has been a really positive force, is that it's something I do every day. It's something that I don't plan my day around it. It's just that like at 6:30, my alarm goes off and I'm like, get ready for stream. And instead of like most things where like I'm like, oh god, because whenever there's something set in stone, I'm like, oh god, that's annoying. It ruins my day, right? Like if I have a friend of mine that's gonna hang out with me at like 2 p.m. on a Saturday, I can't do anything before. It's just how I am. But with streaming, instead of looking at it like, oh, I gotta go and sit here and talk to myself for an hour, no, I don't have any of those thoughts. I'm like, hey, this is another opportunity to have fun. Because I've always wanted to do streaming. I have no grand aspirations besides getting channel point gotcha at the moment. And just having fun. But the thing that's really talking to me now is that, you know, no matter how rough of a day I've had, and I've had a pretty rough couple of days, I still want to get up and stream. I still want to sit here. I still want to talk, no matter who's here, no matter whether there is someone here or not, and just go through it and just have some fun. And, you know, it is kind of annoying on the perspective of, like, what are the downsides? One, I have a lisp. The reason I have a lisp is because I have Invisalign, okay? I decided that I was going to fix my teeth, and I figured that it was worth the investment, and it has been. I'm almost done. I'm on, like, the 25th set out of 36, I think. I don't remember, but I'm like more than halfway done. But I was like, you know what? This is a short-term heavy investment that's going to pay off for my entire life. Because the last thing I want are dental issues. And apparently, like, dental issues, like, are derivative of, like, actual health. So, like, the more healthy your dentistry is, the better, like, the healthier you are. And it's like, man, I wish I knew that when I was, like, 12 and drinking, like, 2 liters of Coke every single day. Yeah, I know. Kill me. It almost did. But, yeah, let me double check this. So, let me also tell you about 2 things to be aware of if you're going to get into audio. There's a lot of snake oil. And what I mean by snake oil is not by the sense of, like, people are trying to scam you into stuff. Now, if they're sponsored by it, they obviously have an interest, which is, be careful. But what I'm trying to say when I say snake oil is that there's a lot of stuff that people don't tell you about certain products. And what I mean by that is they, like, for example, the Vocaster 1. I own it. I have to use this. If this breaks, I have no other backup. Well, I technically do, but it's ass, and I'm never going to use it. But what's going on is when people are reviewing a product on YouTube or reviewing a product, whatever, in a personal or economic sense, they normally leave out annoyances, right? What's annoying about the Vocaster 1? Okay, let me tell you this. On the Vocaster 1, for the monitor, which is essentially the term used to hear yourself when you're talking and your audio on your computer, that has a chevron, a white chevron, indicating where the level is. There isn't one on the gain knob for the loudness knob for the microphone. So there's one, where is it? There's one on this one that has a chevron at the top, but there isn't one here. It's like, and another thing, they said it in the, what do you call it? They said it in the, like, manual, but they didn't say it on the website, is that you need a TR 3.5 millimeter. You know, you know, guitars, like, they plug it into an amplifier in a movie. You need that in order to have this work. So you also need a headset that is compatible from 3.5 to, like, a 2.5, which is like Apple earphones. Or in my case, I mean, hell, the ATH M50Xs have a tier 3.5 millimeter plug-in, so I'm good to go there. But the other thing is, regardless of the product itself, is 2 specific things. Ground loop and electromagnetic interference. So, for example, I'm using my phone right now, but, like, let's say you take your phone and you put your phone between the Cloud Lifter and the Vocaster. So let's say you put your phone right here, right? If you start hearing, like, psst, psst, like hissing, congratulations, that's electromagnetic interference. So you don't want this near your computer. Like, for example, my stuff is on a table above the computer, and my table is made out of pure wood. So any electromagnetic interference from the PC is getting blocked by the audio chain. Okay. And the other thing, ground loop. So every single piece of equipment here is powered by electricity. There is a term in electricity known as ground loop, where if the power is going into the audio setup, and I haven't had this issue yet, you know, knock on actual wood, I'm in the ocean. It's okay. It's a piece of driftwood. Uh, if you have this issue, there are products where, let's imagine this all, well, technically speaking, the PC is plugged into a wall, an outlet. So let's just imagine it's there. So the PC powers the Vocaster 1, and this drives the headphones. This drives the Cloud Lifter with the 48-volt phantom power, which is required for a dynamic mic. If you have a condenser, it won't work. Or rather, I'm sorry, you need the 48 volts of phantom power to run the condenser mic. But if you have a audio interface that is using a condenser microphone, it requires the 48 volts to just drive the microphone. So if you want to do a Cloud Lifter, which I think people tell you explicitly don't, so please fact check that. But you would need 48 times 2, so that 8 times 2 is 16 carry the 1, so that's 96 volts of power, I think. Is my quick maths good? Calculator. 48x2. Hey, there we go. I can math. But if you get ground loop, which kind of sounds like a in your audio or something like that, or it sounds kind of crunchy, like robotic, one, it's either ground loop or the actual interface is overheating and you're kind of running the amps too much. So I've talked about a few of the things that I really like about this setup. Let me talk to you about the one that I love the most. And the reason why previously, in the previous streams, like my Honkai Star Rail, it was only the SM7, the Vocaster, and that's it. These two, this is irrelevant for this conversation. Okay, Honkai Star Rail, that stream, was only the SM7B and the Vocaster 1. Okay, and I'm going to go over here. On the gain knob, so let's imagine, I don't know, there's a knob. It's there. The gain on the SM7B with the Vocaster 1 was almost maxed out. Excuse me. So literally, my Vocaster 1 was being worked really hard to get the gain up, to make it loud and sound good, which introduced so much background crap. But with the Cloud Lifter, now it's at half. So it doesn't work your Vocaster or your interface harder than it needs to, which I think is really underrated, because I'm a firm believer in buying one thing that's really freaking good and then getting married to it and driving it until it freaking dies. I will use this SM7B until the day it dies or the day I die. Okay, one of the two. And same thing with the Vocaster 1. Same thing with the Cloud Lifter, which is why I spent this money. It was, I believed, an informed decision to buy these things, in my opinion. And because of that, I'm going to make sure these things last as long as I humanly can. Because, oh my god. The only thing that could make this better is that, honestly, longer cables. That's about it. Just to kind of space out things. Even because the Cloud Lifter is actually electromagnetically shielded, if you don't know. If you look at their product page, it's a box. It's literally in a steel box, a ferrous chamber. Basically, it blocks out outside electromagnetic interferences, and it prevents the internal electromagnetic interferences from coming out too much. It doesn't eliminate it, but it really helps. But let's see here. Let me look at my notepad here. I want to make sure I got through the audio setup. I got through the equipment, the filters, talked to you about that. Mic placement, talked to you about that. Electromagnetic interference, warned you about that. Ground loop, same thing. Solve the mouth breathing? I hope so. It's something that I'm very conscious about. Like, I don't care. If someone were to come in chat right now and say, hideous mouth breather, I'm like, I mean, you're right. I wouldn't be offended. It's like, it's true. The way I talk is like that. But, if I'm honest with you, I think I just have to figure out a meter and a cadence. Oh, I'm sorry. I put my hand in front of. I talk with my hands. I don't know. I'm expressive like that. But right now, I'm currently treading water in Tokyo Bay. So you can't see them, okay? I'm talking with my hands, but I'm treading water. It's like, water yoga. Anyway. But yeah, this is going to be a short stream. I just wanted to walk you through it. But like I said, This is, you know, Virgin Audio, Virgin, and then Chad. Oh, yeah. Chad Audio versus Virgin Audio. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. I just wanted to run through my audio chain a little bit and kind of talk about my struggles, my growing pains, and hopefully from this day forward, hopefully, because this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the kitchen. I'm going to make steak and rice. Okay. It's going to be baller. I'm going to nail it. Hopefully I won't choke on it again. And then I'm going to watch the stream as I'm eating my dinner. And I'm going to pray that all the testing I did in reality is also true. Because it doesn't matter how long I sit here in OBS and mess with stuff. Doesn't matter. Stream is the final decider on this. And I think I mixed it right. I think I got everything right. But only time will tell. But until later, until next time, I'll catch you later. Rick is going to need to go back into the ocean, though. Thank you for being a nice little guy. Arf, arf. I don't know why he's a seal. But thank you, Rick. Have a good one. And don't worry, Marlon is... He's here, too. I'm playing with sock puppets. What has my life come to? Anyway, I'm going to make steak and rice. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one, and I hope this was informational, and hopefully it was very helpful. And again, if you want to, I got a video on my YouTube channel, @RazTavi. Have a good one. Bye-bye.